Ho, 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 Daniel. And a hearty 5 minutes late.
On Dasher
For
and
you.
Dancer and Vixen and Donner and Let's Go Brandon.
Ah. That was good. That was real good. We're starting. Right on.
Okay, well,
Raise a cup of cheer to you on This Should Be the Podcast, episode number 32.
what is that, like a Moscow Mule?
Indeed it is. It's a North Pole mule. Is that what I'm calling it tonight? Clankly clank.
What is in that?
Oh, like it is a Moscow mule, but that's just vodka and ginger beer and lime juice,
Right. No, I meant, okay.
garnished with a little bit of mint, because that's what Sally likes. So that's what we have in the house.
Huh. See, the problem with garnishes is like once you start mixing with things, it makes it much easier to just drink the whole thing.
I'm not hearing a problem. What? Sorry.
Well,
What?
yeah, I guess it's not a problem, but it's like when people do like you have like a Jack and Coke, right?
Yeah.
So the sweetness masks all the crappiness of the Jack Daniels, but then so you're like, oh, okay, well, this is nice.
Oh,
It tastes
okay.
just- you just start
Yeah.
throwing it back. All of a sudden, you're in Timbuktu or something.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, I would never just drink vodka straight. I'm not Russian or Soviet bloc.
Yeah, trying
I'm not all.
drink away the long weary winter months in Siberia.
Yeah, I don't eat potatoes raw, and I don't eat vodka. So I drink vodka. So good stuff.
Vodka
But
is
I
the
don't know.
best. Is one of the best because cheap vodka. The difference between cheap vodka and nice vodka is the least of all the different. You know what I mean? Like you can survive. Like what is it? Platinum. The $15 for a giant handle of vodka. You can survive on that because most of the time you're mixing it with LaCroix or whatever. Right? But like
Yeah, I guess.
there's nothing you get cheap tequila. Like there's nothing you can do with that, right? Like it's just awful, right? But
Yeah, that's true. It's way harder to mask bad tequila.
and cheap whiskey
And cheap,
is kind
yeah,
of the same way.
Same with whiskey. Yeah.
Cheap
Yeah.
rum you can get away with cheap rum because most of the time that's mixed with like fruity stuff too, like Bacardi and all that kind of stuff.
That's true. I think rum might rival it, but rum's gross. Rum's really gross by itself. I'd rather drink straight vodka than rum, like clear regular
Yeah.
rum, not spiced rum. Ugh,
Yeah.
that'd be gross.
Well, if you have good vodka, you can just like drink it mostly straight with like a little bit
Oh,
of
yeah.
lime juice or something or
Well, like
Something.
good anything you should be able to drink straight theoretically. Like I could drink tequila that's good straight. I just don't like it really, but
Yeah.
I could drink it straight.
I like I need
have.
to be in a pueblo somewhere.
Yeah, I gotta be like out of ideas and like really desperate for some alcohol.
Like this is what we have. All right.
This is where I'm at. Just give me straight tequila. Please be top shelf. If it's bottom shelf.
I'm ready for today to be over. Is what you're basically telling the world.
Well, it's December 21st, a couple days before Christmas. It's our inaugural Christmas
Solstice.
episode. Oh, the solstice, yes. Didn't winter actually start? Yeah, soon? Is it this soon? Like today? Yesterday?
That would be today, technically.
That is
So-
today? Tonight,
Yeah.
like at the like 10 o'clock tonight or something like that. Winter officially starts or something like that.
Right.
It's a weird
meaning,
time.
meaning the days get longer from here starting.
Yes, exactly. And also, I got to go do my dancing around in the woods, like because I'm a witch. So it's gonna get weird.
Right.
I get out of my Santa costume and I go put on my Stevie Nicks stuff that Sally
Yeah.
wore for Halloween.
I'm actually descended from the Druids. Not really. In ancient times.
Funny, Dan, you don't look Druish. Waka! That was good. Hey, tied it all in the. Way to go, Mel Brooks.
Call back
Thank
to
you
a
for that.
4-year-old movie.
Oh, we got comments right off the bat. Okie dokie. Let's see here. Nope. These
Nope.
are not real. Okay.
They look fakes. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Russian bot. Thank you, Russian bot number 2.
We can
Your
leave those. Those are funny.
dreams. Your dreams 09. Yeah. Freddie. Way to go, Freddie. All right.
Okay.
Cool. So we're talking Christmas movies. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, this is a subject about which I'm not necessarily an expert.
No, I'm not an expert at anything we talk about, so this is right up our alley.
No,
You
but
want to
like,
start with? You want to try to come up with like a definition of what a Christmas movie should be? Maybe context for what Christmas
well,
movies.
as
what
always,
makes a movie a
all
Christmas
this,
movie?
the nuances come down to how you define things, right? Because
Yeah.
a Christmas movie isn't necessarily a movie that's about Christmas.
Gotcha. Or hey, here's a good idea. Do you have like a list of like your top Christmas movies that you like? Not necessarily like a definitive
I'm
list.
not one of those people that just, binges Christmas movies in December. I do with the kids a little bit, but like,
Oh damn, dude, we live on 2 different planets. I've watched 2 tonight.
we watched both the Christmas Chronicles movies,
Okay, yeah, we've done that.
with Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn and whoever. Yeah,
Okay,
and those are fine. I mean, they're about as much about Christmas as you could get, right? So I think there's a distinction between anybody can make a Christmas movie,
yeah,
right? Just like anybody can make a Christmas song. If you just take a regular pop song and add like jingle bells in the
oh
background
yeah,
and a
yeah.
children's choir,
The sleigh bells will do it all. That's all you
Yeah.
need, and like a dong, like a nice
yeah, big chime doing the
big bell
doing the
chime. Yep.
chords. So, but like for example, It's a Wonderful Life.
Yep.
That movie's not about Christmas. You
No.
know, but for some reason it became a Christmas movie because Ted Turner, bought it in the 80s and decided to just run it all the time. And now it's considered a Christmas movie. Right? Like
Correct me if I'm
Die
wrong.
Hard.
It is over the Christmas season. Yes.
It technically takes place at Christmas, but I mean,
It takes place
by
at
that
Christmas,
logic, it's not any more of a Christmas movie than Die Hard is. Right? Just because something, or any
Yeah.
movie written by Shane Black, like Lethal Weapon or Iron
Yep.
Man 3, like all his movies all just take place at Christmas because he's weird. But like, that doesn't make them Christmas movies per se. So the question is, does it have
Can
to
you
be
Christmas movie, can it be set not at Christmas time? I think it'd be hard. I think setting time frame, the movie action in the movie has to revolve at least around the Christmas holiday in some way, shape, or form.
I would consider that to be at least a bare minimum, yeah.
Yeah, bare minimum. Yeah. So it's a low bar, but it's a bar.
Or something like Harry Potter that, has like a 15-minute section in the middle about
that's
Christmas.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that doesn't seem right. But like
Yeah.
the overarching story should have a pretty predominant Christmas time frame. Or at least focal point.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. That's
Or
one. That's
something
good.
like just the movie The Holiday. It's Shayla made me watch it a couple weeks ago. It's,
Sure.
what's her name? Kate Winslet lives
No.
Cameron Diaz, and they switch houses over Christmas. One lives in LA, one lives in England.
Sounds
And
like
then,
a bad reality television show. But
well,
no,
and then
I'm not
they live in each other's houses over the holiday, and then they both find love, and it's actually I found it pretty good. The writing was decent.
It's quite charming.
So that's a movie that just simply takes place at Christmas, right? So
Okay.
it's not necessarily about Christmas, like learning the true meaning of and it's not about like there's no Santa, there's no religion, there's no, there's
Hmm. Yeah, okay.
there's not much other than just simply the setting.
So yeah, all right. So okay, but now do they make like is Christmas like woven into the dialogue? Is it into a focus of any of the characters?
Not really.
Oh, okay. Well then no, I don't think so. I
But
think
it
there has
does
to be
take,
like
but it takes place at Christmas, and enough of it takes place in snowy environments that it makes people, when December rolls
feel-
around, they're like, oh, that's
feel
one
like
of
a
those
Christmas
movies.
movie.
They want to get like hot cocoa or whatever and sit on the couch. So
okay, I gotcha. Well, all right. So like we should bounce a lot of these ideas. I mean, the Die Hard is like a classic. Let's argue about it being a Christmas movie. So, it takes place at Christmas at a Christmas party. So that makes total sense. So that fits that criteria. Also, like when you like, I was just joking. I was like, is it like stuff like woven in? Well, yeah, like there's Christmassy jokes. There's Santa Claus. There's
Yeah, you'll see like
now I
holly
got a machine
leaves
gun.
in the
Ho ho
background.
ho.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, but like even then, like even just some of the dialogue is funny, or it's just Christmassy stuff. Like it comes up that it's a Christmas evening event kind of thing.
yeah,
Through a lot of the dialogue. It's a constant reminder in the movie that you're at a Christmas thing.
yeah. But
Maybe
the character arcs of the characters may or may not relate to the Christmas spirit as we tend to define it.
No, it's not. It's almost like a foil. It like bounces off the seriousness and the violence and the suspense and the action. Like
yeah,
the subtle little Christmas jokes. You know what I mean?
right. Like how Independence Day is not actually about Independence Day.
No, of course not. But whatever. I don't know. That might not be a good analogy. All right. Either way. So okay. So time frame. You got Christmas time frame, Christmas focus in some degree,
Yeah.
and then like, what else do you think? Like
Well, I
like
was
a
just going
true,
to say,
like a true Christmas movie. I'm okay with people not.
classic Christmas movie would be something like Scrooge,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
Or like in one of the various remakes, of A Christmas Carol.
That is my number one Christmas movie, by the way. Scrooged. It's
the
my
one with
favorite.
Bill Murray.
Oh yeah. I love that movie.
Yeah, I mean it's classic.
It's my top 3. It's in my top 3, which I can cycle through. But
For purely nostalgia, the version of A Christmas Carol that I like the most is the one from the 70s with what's his name? Albert Finney. And I like it because it makes everything look appropriately like horrible. Like for being a typical Charles Dickens story. Like if you watch like some of the other classic versions like George C. Scott where he's like overacting, and he's actually like, he's a handsome man. And then or like the one like even the Muppets, well, it's Muppets, right? So it's great on
don't
its
you
own.
talk shit about the Muppet Christmas?
I'm not.
Carol,
The
man.
Muppets is great.
Don't you?
but
Okay.
but this one is like everything is like dimly lit and it looks dirty and he's wearing like old man makeup and stuff and it looks like it actually takes place in like oh yeah, you can see why everybody's depressed in these Charles Dickens novels, because
Right.
like everything's cold and drafty and stuff and anyway, but to me but that's just because that's the one my parents like to watch growing up. So like that's the one
Oh,
I
there you go.
associate with
Yeah.
Christmas Carol. But then there's the Christmas Story, right, with Ralphie and the BB gun.
Yep.
Right, which other than I mean, is there really a story to that movie? I mean, granted it's great, right? But it's really just like a sequence. It's like it was written by a child, right? It's a sequence of events.
Yeah.
And the only
it
through
surrounds
line is that he
Christmas.
wants this BB gun and then he wants it
For
real bad
Christmas.
and then he gets
Yeah.
it. Like nobody really learns anything. Right?
Oh,
There's
no, you don't have to. I don't think you have to learn anything. I mean, I
No,
think,
but it's just like you're hanging out with his family for an hour and 40 minutes.
yeah, I agree. I think what you learn is that like Cleveland in the 50s sucked, or the 40s, whatever it was, 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No, but
Well,
like
it's got that kind of Simpsons vibe where it's
it
like
does have a Simpsons vibe. Yeah.
where it's kind of depressing a little bit, like it's the humor is a little right, and the dad is like angry and swears and drinks too much, right, and then
Yeah.
like all this. But then at the end of the day, the whole family loves each other,
Right.
and then it's a happy ending, right?
Well, yeah. See, and so like another thing I was thinking about, or I've read, or just thought about, or just listened to people argue, but like there has to be like I don't know, like themes, like Christmas type themes, like joy or common humanity and like family and togetherness and forgiveness, like all these Christmas, or like charity, all these lofty goals that humanity has to be like a true Christmas movie, which I don't think I agree with. But I mean,
Yeah, I mean that would definitely be the smallest little circle of the Venn diagram.
right. That seems super narrow to me to be like that has to be in there to be a Christmas movie, because you could have the flip opposite of that and have like greed, like you could it could be Scrooge the whole time, or it could be like a Christmas Carol before he has his redemptive moment, and that could still be a Christmas movie. You could just go south. And
That
you
would
could
be
just,
like Bad Santa or something.
yeah, right. Well, that's another one. Yeah. But it's still, Bad Santa's still a Christmas movie. It's just a horribly inappropriate, vulgar, disgusting, over-sexualized Christmas movie about people that steal
Yeah.
stuff on Christmas.
Oh, I thought that was a funny gag in the Christmas Chronicles 2 that we watched the other day when like all the little elves are like up in Santa's village and they have this little movie theater, and then when they're all happy, that's like now playing Elf on the
Yeah.
movie marquee, and then once they all go crazy and they turn into bad elves, then it says now playing Bad Santa on the little marquee.
Yeah, that's right. I like the first one of that. We watched. I don't think I've actually seen the second one. I think my kids watched it with a babysitter. They had something to do. So I've seen the first one. I haven't seen the second one. So I'll have to.
The first one's
get on
definitely
that one.
better.
Yeah, the first one was okay. That came out like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was pretty good. That's not in my top 10, but it's okay. It's still good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Kurt Russell. Who's gonna argue with that? Oh, I want to see the. Gosh, what is it? Damn it, I forget the name of it. I saw a preview for it again. It's the Mel Brooks one. Not Mel Brooks. Mel Gibson, where he's like, it's like a really gritty. He's like Santa Claus, but like,
What? I haven't heard of this.
oh, I gotta find the name of this
Is
thing.
it coming out now?
No, it's already out. Movie called. It's called Fat Man. To save his declining business, Kris Kringle, also known as Santa Claus, is forced into a partnership with the U.S. military. Making matters worse, Chris gets locked into a deadly battle of wits against a highly skilled assassin hired by a precocious 12-year-old after receiving a lump of coal in his stocking.
That's an amazing setup.
That's what it is. Like if you watch the trailer, I think there's like a picture of the kid with like a stocking and his coal, and he's like Kringle.
I would expect this to be like a 2008 Will Ferrell movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally. That would be it. It was 2020, and I think it's on. I saw it on Amazon, and I'm
Is
like,
Mel
"Oh,
Gibson in
God."
it, or did he make it?
No, he's in it. He's Kris Kringle. He's Santa Claus. Yeah.
I gotta
he's
find
the
this
guy.
movie.
Yeah. Right. So what was it called again? It's called Fat Man. Yep. That's exactly it. I saw it. I gotta watch that one. So yeah, we've been doing like the nights we have time. We watch a movie with the kiddos, and then like when they go to bed, me and Sally watch an adult Christmas movie, or like not a kids one.
An adult
It's been
Christmas
fun.
movie.
Oh yeah, it's getting real weird.
Now, see, look, Halloween movies are basically just considered anything that's scary.
Right. That's
So-
that's an overly broad.
So the
category.
bar for what is considered a Halloween movie is just anything that's scary. It doesn't have
Yeah,
to be.
that's
I mean, the only Halloween movies that take place on Halloween are Halloween, right, and all of the sequels. So, but generally,
Yeah, that'd be like calling like E.T. a Halloween movie because like they go
Right.
they go trick or treating. You're like, all right, yeah, I guess
yeah, there isn't really a big.
it's a
Pool
it's a
of-
bullshit genre to try to defend, like Christmas.
Yeah.
movies.
Well, there's what other holidays have their own subgenre? There's not a lot of Easter movies.
Nope. No, those are
Speaking
all.
of Mel Gibson,
Yeah, speaking of Mel Gibson, no Easter, no like I don't know, like American movies, like war movies, but that's not a holiday movie, like Memorial Day or Veterans Day or something like that.
yeah, you don't see a bunch of people gathering around barbecues like binge watching, like
Yeah.
Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, no one's together on the 4th of July. Be like, let's watch Born on 4th of July.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey guys, we're gonna come over. We're gonna cozy up with a good book and some hot chocolate and watch Saving Private Ryan.
I'm gonna get together on America's birthday and watch Forrest Gump and just be like, that retard really, really just bonded the whole country together on several different occasions. We need more Forrest right now. Yeah, no, you're right. No, it's Christmas and Halloween, but like the Christmas genre is more specific than Halloween for sure. That's stuff you can get away with.
Christmas has more iconography. You know,
Oh, yeah?
visual things you can do. Like, I mean, like, you know, like
Sure.
those things where they list out all the Office Christmas episodes. So if you wanted to
Yep.
binge watch it, you could just, right? Like,
Well, yeah, that's a great example because like you can go through, like Hulu or Netflix. If you're like, I want to watch an episode of Christmas, and it'll show all their shows and just list out all their Christmas episodes. That's very true. Like that, I forget what.
okay, now
what
by
service
but
does that.
by that logic, though, TV shows are always capitalizing on whatever holiday, right? So like every sitcom has to do a Christmas episode. They got to do a Valentine's thing as like a plot device.
Yeah,
You know.
that's true. Yep. Valentine's Day is a big one. There's a lot of Valentine's Day, but they're all cheesy Hallmark movies, which is the majority of Christmas movies as well. Just I think by the sheer numbers of them, would have to be terrible Hallmark or like Lifetime movies. There's
Yeah.
a whole B subgenre of Christmas movies, which is Legion. There are so many titles it's not even funny, and half of them are like Candace Cameron and
Yeah.
a bunch of other actresses that were relevant a long time ago.
Yeah. Things that were
But whatever.
filmed in Wilmington.
Yeah, they feel like soap operas.
It's supposed
me.
to take place in Maine.
or like like teen drama. They're like hastily thrown together teen dramas on the WB.
Yeah.
Or, again, filmed in Wilmington. Exactly.
What was that movie that that Nicholas Sparks movie that was supposed to take place in Beaufort? And then like we all watched it and we were all just like talking crap about it because none of it looked like Beaufort.
I never watched it, but I'm pretty sure it's A Walk to Remember. Is that what it is?
Yes, that's the one where
Yeah.
she gets cancer or something.
Yeah. Mandy Moore dies at the end, right? Is
Right.
it Mandy Moore? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I never saw that. I'm aware of it though. And there's now a show that's like Outer Banks or something like that.
Oh yeah, that came out last year.
I'm only aware of the name. If you're like, oh, have you ever watched that show? Because you're like, you live in North Carolina. I was like, I've been to the Outer Banks. Does that count? I don't know. I've not seen the show. I got nothing.
Yeah, I remember. I think
I
people were talking crap because like at one point some character like gets mad and like drives off. I'm getting out of here, and then he goes, and then like 2 seconds later he's driving by a sign that says Raleigh this way, and everybody's like, there's a whole giant body of water between where you are. Raleigh's 200 miles away.
Well, I mean, there might be a Raleigh this way sign. That's possible.
I mean, it wasn't something like that, but it was some sort of thing that was like a big error in geography, and it caused all of these North Carolina people who were excited about
Now
the
entering
show to be like,
Charlotte.
screw this show.
God dang, this state's huge. You can't get from Asheville to Kitty Hawk in 30 minutes. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right, so let's stop. Give me some of your favorite Christmas movies. I know you said you don't have a big list, but like, so all right. So I'll tell you what. I'll give you mine. I'll give you
Okay.
Scrooged, and this is probably in the particular order. Scrooged, Christmas Vacation, and Home Alone are like my three favorite Christmas movies. That if I don't watch those movies, I don't feel like it's Christmas, which is another dimension to this conversation.
Oh yeah.
And then also subgenre of those, I also love like the little Christmas events that were like big in the 60s when I was a kid, like Rudolph, the Grinch.
Oh
and
yeah,
Charlie
the
Brown.
claymation and stuff.
Yeah, and like so those aren't really movies, those are Christmas events, but whatever. I still lump those into the same way. Those are like my next three. But
Yeah.
I do think Scrooge is like my favorite movie for Christmas movies. But also I like any of the Christmas Carol stuff. I do like the Muppets Christmas Carol. It's pretty funny. And I know the other one you're talking about, and I tried to watch another one that came out this year, but it was like a big long event. They did it like a television drama where it was gonna like take up like 12 of my hours. I was just like, I don't have time to watch this crap. I started watching it and I fell asleep. So I
What
was
is
just
that? What are you talking about?
it's on Netflix, I think. And there's a large, basically a Christmas Carol, like series. So it was very dark. You might dig it. It was fine. Who was Scrooge? I know the guy's name. It was the guy who played a Memento.
Guy
Guy
Pearce?
Ritchie. No, Guy Pearce. Guy Ritchie. Close enough. Wrong guy. Yeah, that guy. So he was good, cool. Like I watched I got like the first two episodes, and
How do you turn a Christmas Carol into a series?
They just elongated it, just like
So just all backstory and stuff.
yeah, a lot of interaction, a lot of dialogue, and it's just a longer. It's a mini series instead of like a 2-hour movie. It's like an 8-hour movie, more or less. So don't quote me on the amount.
Peter
of episodes.
Jackson's A Christmas Carol.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
There'll be a 30-minute
But,
chase through the streets of London.
it wasn't terrible, and it was very dark and dirty. So it was interesting. But those are my top picks. Like that's what I think of. Like, those are things I want to immediately watch when it's time for Christmas movies.
Yeah, I don't really tend to get into. I mean, I tend to watch what other people want to watch in terms of. Like Christmas Vacation was always sort of on around, like hanging out with like various grandparents and like family members and stuff. You'd be like, it would be just sort of playing. So you just sort of walk in and it's like, oh, there's the part where he's setting up the lights,
Yeah.
or this the part where he's angry about the bonus, all that kind of stuff. So like, what Christmas movies do I sit down? I don't know, man. I think
Are there any ones that you like particularly enjoy?
I'm always down for any version of A Christmas Carol. They're not always
Okay.
of equal quality.
Sure.
I do like for me personally, I do like the 1-2 punch of the 87 Christmas movies of Lethal Weapon and Die Hard.
Okay.
Lethal Weapon specifically. For some reason, that's like a sitting alone at my house over Christmas or something like watch. I don't know. Lethal Weapon has a certain vibe that I find strangely comforting. So that's fun.
Cool.
I don't really watch that many. See, to me,
Okay.
here, but this is a point though. Like to me, I associate like like for a while there it was like Star Wars, like for 5-6 straight years, every December it was like, oh, the new Star Wars movie's coming out, right? So that would be like a topic of conversation. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so as Christmas is, you're like, all right, well, let's watch the last one and stuff like that. So like, and then 15 years ago it was like Lord of the Rings was the same thing, So when I was a kid, like I remember one year, my sister made us watch the Rocky movies over one Christmas break. So to me, I associate Rocky 1 with like Christmas Vacation, even though it has nothing to do with Christmas. So there's a lot of sort of experiential,
No,
nostalgic.
that's cool too, though.
connection.
Yeah, that's a different vibe, but that's still cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I may do next week, actually. Because Levi hasn't
maybe.
seen any of them.
Oh, really?
Well, we just never got around to them.
Well, whatever. That's a thing that just doesn't always happen.
I was like, all right, there's like 9 of these. Okay, so strap in.
We're getting into Creed, son. Creed,
Yeah.
which I still haven't seen. I need to watch those. Yeah, like it's funny. I always want to watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which is
I've never seen that.
You've never seen Planes?
I
Dude,
think
you've
I've
never
seen
that.
this. That's 70s, right? Or no, early 80s.
It's either late 70s or early 80s, and like just like John Candy and Steve Martin, and
Yeah.
he's trying to get home for the holidays. But technically, he's trying to get home for Thanksgiving. It's not a Christmas movie. But it gets watched at this time. But like I never watch it at Thanksgiving because who watches movies over Thanksgiving? Like it just never happens. And then like I was like, oh, I'll start watching movies, and it always comes up as a movie. But I'm like 99% certain he's going home for Thanksgiving. So, but still, it's like one of those movies you can mistake for a Christmas movie. But if you watch it at the same time, then it's kind of what you feel like, Much like your Rocky.
Yeah.
But either way, dude, that's a really funny movie if you've never seen it. John Candy is fantastic. So Steve Martin, it's super funny.
I should check that out.
You should. I recommend it. It is a Thanksgiving movie. I'm 100% certain of that now because I'm Googling it. There we go. But it's like winter and there's snow and he's like trying to get home. It feels like Christmas because I don't know. It just feels like Christmas, but it's not a Christmas movie. So either way.
What about like Pearl Harbor?
It's a pre-Christmas movie. Yeah. Every Black Friday, I gather all my closest friends and family, and we watch Pearl Harbor and lead up to next week's festivities.
That's how we make Grandpa cry.
It's
It wasn't like that.
Alec Baldwin again with him. Oh yeah. So I watched. I had not nothing to do, but like once I was done, we did a lot of stuff this past weekend, and I was just hanging out on Sunday. I was like, there was no one around. Like Sally was at the store, the kids were outside. I was like, I'm gonna watch a movie, and I'm thumbing through stuff, and I was like, oh sweet, The Hunt for Red October. Here we go. For no reason, and I just was so happy to watch it. I was just like, Alec Baldwin. So different. 80s Alec Baldwin is so funny.
Yeah, it's back when he was trying to be serious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who else was I thinking of? That like, it's almost weird to watch them doing their serious phase
Tom
before
Hanks.
they realize they were funny.
Backwards. It's reverse.
It's escaping.
No, it's
me.
reverse. Did someone have a serious phase? You're talking so serious before they went in the comedy? Because Alec Baldwin still is always trying to do comedy, like serious stuff.
He occasionally does, but even when he does a serious role, it's still funny. Right?
Well,
Like
he's goofy.
like
He's
like
goofy
The
as Jack
Departed or
Ryan,
something.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he's
good
not.
point.
but he's not like he's trying to be like handsome leading man person. Once he got past that, he's like, all right, well, screw it. Now I can just be funny.
Yeah, but he's still like in that movie anyway, like the reluctant guy throughout the whole thing. He's not. He never comes through as like a beast of a freaking marine or something. You know what I mean? Well, whatever. Point being, but still, it's not quite a Christmas movie discussion, but it was a good. I did watch it and I had fun. All right, so you don't even.
I'm trying to think of who that. It doesn't matter. It's in the back of my brain. Anyway.
So I do remember going out to Blockbuster one year to go get Christmas movies when like me and Jake, my brother, went out, and like either I was in high school or early college. No, it must have been high school. And we had to go rent some Christmas movies for like everybody. And like I know we came back with Die Hard, and then we came back with something else. But this was pre like internet stuff, so like we weren't really thinking. We just were thumbing through stuff, and like Die Hard was at Blockbuster. We're like, that's over Christmas. Let's grab that, and we watched it. And like my mom was so mad that we got Die Hard. I was like, Mom, listen, we're watching Die Hard. Just sit down and watch this movie. This is a family event.
It's like, look, if you don't like it, there's Die Hard 2. Okay.
Yeah. It's Christmas in Chicago. It's like, is it in Chicago?
DC.
Where that one's at? Is it in DC? Oh, they're landing in DC. Oh, good to know. Thank you for remembering. But like, that was a funny memory for me that was a thing that we joked about before. It was like
I started typing non-Christmas, and Google immediately filled with non-Christmas Christmas movies. Apparently, that's a very common thing. So you're talking about first two Die Hards, Reindeer Games.
Oh, Reindeer Game, Ben Affleck.
Yeah, Edward Scissorhands. That's a good one.
Oh, that's a really good one. That's an underrated Christmas movie.
I haven't seen that in ages.
I haven't seen that in a long time either. That's a very good movie.
Check that out. What else? Lethal Weapon, obviously. Trading Places. Batman Returns.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Okay, now this makes no sense. Rambo. First Blood. That doesn't take place at Christmas. That's okay. I'm gonna have to go veto Rambo. Ghostbusters 2. Does that take place at Christmas?
I think it does. Yeah. Because she's like part of a Christmas cantata or something. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. That's not a whatever. That's fair. Okay.
Eyes Wide Shut.
No, I got nothing there.
I never saw that one. It's one of those listicles.
Oh, lame.
L.A. Confidential. Huh.
Okay.
That technically. Did you ever see that?
I've seen that at least once.
It's very good.
But I can't speak to it at all.
It has like 4
I didn't hate
scenes that take. No, it's great, but it's not. Here's the thing: like, does a Christmas movie have to be like? These people are saying Babe. Yeah, I don't know. It's like
is Gremlins on the list?
It should be.
Should be. Gremlins is definitely over Christmas.
Yeah. End of Days. The Ice Harvest. Okay, now we're just.
Ooh. All right, now we're stretching.
All right, bottom of the barrel. Anyway.
Rob Zombie presents something.
Oh, no, I forgot. So Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
That's movie. Up there in my. That's in my. At least in my top 5s. And it's not because it's good. Like no, it is good. It's not. It's nobody would ever call that movie great.
No.
But it's such a perfect small concept executed like
pretty well.
You know what I mean? Like it's not trying to be anything different. Like it's a perfect setup for a Christmas movie. He was like, all right, how about this? Arnold Schwarzenegger plays a dad, and he has to go all over the city to try to find the last toy for his kid. To be like, obviously, let's make this movie. It's
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So and then like Sinbad plays a mailman, so there's like a rivalry there. You know what I mean? And like Phil Hartman's being weird. Like it's a no brainer.
Phil Hartman is super creepy as the neighbor. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched that one for like the first time with the kids, and they're just now they liked it, and they want to watch all the other Jingle.
Yeah, my kids are always walking around going, "Put the cookie down."
We funny real life story. We watched that movie over Christmas because that's like one of the movies that was released at Christmas. So it's like, okay, we're gonna capitalize on the Christmas release. It's a Christmas movie, kids movie. Put it out in December. So we went like my sister and her husband came down. I don't think they had kids yet. They must not have, because like I was in high school, my brother's in middle school. My other brother was still living here. My brother Scott, who lives in like used to live in New Hampshire, now lives in like the Midwest.
All right.
And we all went to the Emerald Isle movie theater, because actually we might have been living on the island. That might have been the first year we lived here. And then like we went to the Emerald Isle movie theater, and then my brother Jake got on my brother's shoulders and started spinning around in the movie theater and fell and broke his arm.
It was there that the seeds of my professional wrestling career were born.
Yes. But then but we didn't know he broke his arm. He shook it off. He was just like, oh, all right, we're fine. And then we watched Jingle all the way. And then later he's like, my arm still hurts. We got an X-ray. He's like, yeah, it's fractured. You got a broken arm, bro. He sat there with a broken arm and watched Jingle all the way. It was very funny.
That's commitment. You gotta.
Yeah, that's so I feel a special bond with that movie.
I do too. I think, and I didn't really ever watch it until I was an adult. Like I missed it when it came out because I was like, "That's dumb. Arnold Schwarzenegger's doing comedy movies. He should be blowing stuff up."
Sure.
I didn't catch it until after I was a parent, and I think that movie. It's like one of the few Christmas movies that's maybe like made for men, because like I feel like unless you've been a parent, like it was part of that classic '90s phase where like, like Liar Liar. Where like every dad in every movie was like, "Oh, I'll be there at your baseball game, son." He spent too much time at the office. Like
right, exactly.
So like that was the setup, because he's always like, with the suit and the briefcase or whatever. So like
it's like Peter Pan, like what's his face?
Robin Williams. Yeah, Hook.
Robin Williams is Peter Pan. Yep, and Hook.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I remember I didn't really ever think anything of it. And I was at work and I was talking to my coworker James, and he's like, sort of typical man's man. He's like, he loves Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's like, no, Jingle All the Way is great. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, because like he's out there, he's trying to like find this Turbo Man for his kid, and he's like going into like all the detail of the story. And he's like, and then at the end, he becomes Turbo Man.
Turbo Man,
right? And his kid looks at him, and he was like clearly getting emotional telling the story of this movie. It's like there's something that resonates, I think, with all dads about Jingle All the Way.
Okay,
to where
I'll get you that one.
Like. The part that's I don't want to say the movie is smart, but like there's a cool little like symbolism there where at the end he becomes the hero, right? And then he realizes, you know what I mean? And then his kid realizes, well, I don't really actually need the thing. What I actually want is my dad.
I just want my dad. He just wants to be there. Yeah, dad.
So it's a good movie.
Nobody wants their dad to be supplanted by Phil Hartman, who's recording and trying to strip your mom. That's not a good situation for any kid. It's not good. But yeah, whatever. Also, it's funny. No, go ahead. I was making a joke. What's the interesting? Give me interest.
I was gonna say, this is maybe not totally Christmas related, but like, at what point do we start to see like family dynamics in these movies? Well, I guess we're seeing that now. Like, it used to be that like the step parent, the protagonist of the movie was always like the dad trying to reunite with his family, right? And then the usurper, whether it's Carrie Yules, or Phil Hartman or whatever, you're scared of the claw, all that kind of stuff. Like they're always like clearly the outsider, right? And then at the end of the movie, the family unit gets back together or whatever. But like, I guess we're still seeing sort of a shift over time to where it's like, why are we all automatically making the sort of step parents into the villains, right? So I'm noticing, like, now that I'm thinking about it, like in some of these movies where like the protagonist is like the, whatever the term would be, the sort of stepmother figure, like, because otherwise you're going to make, as blended families become sort of more normalized and more common.
Yep.
Right. If you keep making Christmas movies where the ideal is considered this sort of the classic nuclear version, then you risk alienating a huge percentage of the audience.
Sure.
I don't know. That was just a random neuron firing in my head. Anyway.
Is there a trend of movies that have a non-nuclear family? I know what you're talking about. Like there's the outside influence, or like even if you watch like we just watched it. What is it? The Santa Claus. Like it's a split family, and like the new dude the new husband or new boyfriend's like a psychologist and is like psychoanalyzing Tim Allen, who thinks he's Santa Claus or is Santa Claus.
Right. So is that guy like a villain in the story, or is he just
Not really. He's
a
just
well-meaning
like
normal person who's not up for the zaniness of the plot?
I would say a well-meaning normal person who's adversarial, but like not in a like he's not the
So,
villain.
you're right. So like if the
He's
story
not-
was
he's-
happening in real life, they would be the only sane person. Right,
Probably.
but because the
Yeah,
movie
he-
has to happen, they have to be the adversarial character.
Yeah, he's not doing anything that's unreasonable or evil. And then she's like,
Yeah.
honey, maybe let's keep the kid away from the guy who thinks he's Santa Claus. Because I mean, and that's actually what makes the good movie pretty good. That movie particularly, which is silly, but like the guy's like, I'm actually Santa Claus, and he has to tell his kid, don't tell people I'm Santa Claus. And then when it starts slipping out, he starts becoming Santa Claus. People are like, you're a sick bastard who's pretending to be Santa Claus. It's like, so it's a funny.
Yeah,
It's a-
that's right. I remember that.
That's a pretty good movie, actually. The first one. There's like 9 of them, but whatever. The first one's pretty good in its plotness. So that's
Yeah.
a good one too. You know what one of my favorite ones is? I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's again, it's a Tim Allen movie. So now what aggravates me about Tim Allen movies is the Santa Claus. He pulls off the like once or twice because it's like peak Home Improvement Tim Allen, which is
Yeah.
like the stupidest Tim Allen ever.
98-ish.
Yeah, whatever. And I'm not hating on Home Improvement. I just hate that whole like whatever. But, Christmas with the Cranks is a really funny movie. If you've ever seen that one.
Which one is that?
Okay, so it's Tim Allen. He's married to oh god, I'm drawing a blank. The chick from Halloween. Jamie Lee Curtis. Yep.
Yeah.
And their daughter is finally out of the house. Gets out of Christmas. She's not at home for Christmas, and they decide to take a cruise and cancel Christmas. Like, don't do any Christmas stuff. And they have all this outside pressure to have like their normal Christmas events. Like Dan Aykroyd's like the neighborhood team leader who like is constantly pressuring him for stuff. And then it turns out, spoiler alert, in case you want to watch it, the daughter comes home right before Christmas, and then they have to like scramble to get all their Christmas stuff together. But it's pretty funny. It's very like, I don't know. It's a funny movie. It's really good. And it's actually something I had never seen until it's a newer movie. It's probably only like 10 years old. Well, no, it's probably older than that. But I like that movie. It's pretty good. I would recommend watching it.
Okay, so next year around December 1st, I'm going to need you to tell me all these again.
Oh, let's do this. Yeah, man. Let's live stream some movie watching. We should figure out you need another platform that whatever. So
Yeah.
no, we'll take it down from copyright, but nobody watches us, so it doesn't matter. We can get away with it.
You're flying under the radar.
We should just do it just for funsies. Then I'm driving to Durham. We're having a Christmas party.
That'd be
We're gonna
fun.
watch 2 movies. That's all the time we have.
Yeah.
All right, I'm officially dying in this sweatshirt. I'm taking it off.
Speaking of Tim Allen, did you ever see Galaxy Quest?
Yeah, I did.
It probably doesn't make a lot of sense to like a non-nerd, but that movie's great.
It didn't. Didn't really absorb that one. But I did watch that movie. Isn't Alan Rickman in that?
Yes.
Speaking of holiday movies, Hans Gruber. Oh, that feels so much better.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of Die Hard,
Yeah.
what would be the best of the Die Hard clones? I was talking with Levi about this last night because we watched Speed, and he's like, "What is this movie about?" I'm like, "Die Hard on a Bus." He's like, "Oh, okay." And it was like,
but is it really? No, Speed. No. You think so? I mean, I that's a funny comparison. That's an okay explanation, but they're very different movies plot wise.
well, you got one cop who's trying to work against a crazy person, right? And he's got a sort of relatable.
Hans isn't crazy.
Well, he's diabolical. We don't really know what, you know what I mean? Like,
Diabolical. Okay, sure.
okay,
all right.
so he's evil, and you got one person on. It's okay. If there's a confined space, the geography plays a big deal, right? So
Confined space, I'll grant you. Yes.
a confined physical location, a relatable cop or everymanish protagonist, right? Not like a Rambo character.
Yeah.
And there's like a group of identify like relatable, like innocent bystanders that you want to see make it. Right.
There's not that many of those people in Die Hard.
Yeah, but okay. But I mean, there's still
Oh, I'm
like
just saying. There's a couple. Everybody wants Holly to live. Nobody cares if what's his face dies. The guy at the beginning.
Ellis,
Yeah, Ellis.
the guy, the coke, the coke
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, right.
Yeah, the
Well,
Rolex
also like
guy.
in Die Hard, it's all John McClane like doing the action, but in Speed, he has to rope in Sandra Bullock's character to like.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an exact comparison, but
I don't think it's a very good comparison at all, Daniel. That's all
well,
I'm
okay,
saying.
but I'm just saying, like, okay, so there was a whole trend of them, right? So
Well,
the
okay,
first,
give me another one then.
the first one that
Speed.
came out would be Under Siege. So now you're talking about, so that's the one where Steven Seagal plays, and this is Under Siege is not good.
No, it's not.
It's because it loses points because Steven Seagal is not a relatable character. He literally plays an ex-Navy SEAL who, for some reason, is a cook on a battleship
Right.
for no reason. Right.
But that's at least taken over by a group.
Taken
of,
over by a group of terrorists, and he's the
Yeah.
one guy who
Yeah.
fights back. And he
That's
makes
a better
one,
comparison. That's Die Hard underwater.
on
Right?
a boat.
Yeah, on a boat.
On a battleship, right? Because Speed 2 was Die Hard on a boat.
Okay, sorry. Speed
Right.
Speed 2 was terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So,
either way,
and
okay.
then you got
What else you got?
okay, what else would it be? Under Siege 2, I think, was Die Hard on a train. I don't think I ever saw that one.
I think you're right. Yep.
And then you got Broken Arrow, which was Die Hard in the desert. Remember that was the one where John Travolta
Yeah.
and Christian Slater, the nukes. And
Yeah, the
they're-
nukes is gone.
You know, but again, the point of it is, I think the main components are you got to have a kind of an everyman protagonist, not
Okay.
a superhero, and the physical location of where the action happens is almost a character of itself,
Sure.
right? And there has to be a sort of a cat and mouse, like, you know, mano y mano kind of relationship with the antagonist, you know. So
All right.
then you got like
that one.
Air Force One, right, where Harrison Ford plays the president, and then
Yep.
the Russians take over the plane.
Oh, who's the bad guy in that movie?
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman. That's
And
right.
He's great. He does great
That's-
Russian
I
accents.
I forgot about that. That is Gary Oldman. I pictured it right in my mind. That's a really good movie. Haven't seen that
Yeah.
in a long time.
I am holding his chief of staff, his daughter, and his baseball glove.
I mean, some cheesy lines like "get off my whatever." But
Yeah, that
whatever.
was lame.
Still, whatever.
Okay, but
You
now,
gotta get it.
then what else? So then you had the 1-2 punch of the dueling White House Die Hard movies in 2013, I think it was, with Olympus Has Fallen and White House Down.
Oh, you're going far. You're taking this into the
Yeah, well, I'm just jumping ahead because
Okay.
it's a whole
Just wondering.
subgenre of action movies, right?
Interesting. I'm not pulled this thread. All right. Yeah, I am aware of those two movies. So I thought one of those was a sequel to the next. They're not. Those are Armageddon and Deep Impact.
Correct.
Those are okay. I
Yeah.
gotcha. All right.
So Olympus Has Fallen is the better of the two. Gerard Butler plays, you know, a disgraced ex-Secret Service agent guy who's like just happens to be in the White House like on a tour or
Who's the
something like
president
that.
in that movie?
Aaron Eckhart
So the other one's with Jamie Lee Fox, right?
and Channing Tatum.
That movie has the worst fucking blue screen and CGI stuff I've ever seen in my life.
Oh no, they both do.
Oh, they do. Okay, so that's the only one I've seen though. I think.
Yeah, they're both really. Okay, anyway, only one of them got a sequel. So what happened in I think London Has Fallen is where Gerard Butler has to protect
Right.
the president in London, and they're using the geography of London, and you see like, you know, Big Ben and all this kind of. So again,
Well, that's a pretty good Die Hard comparison thing, because they literally just took the same character, made the same movie, and put him in another spot.
right. So even the Die Hard sequels
Yeah.
don't always fit that, right? So Die Hard 2 makes sense. Okay, take the same thing, do
Yep.
it in an airport. Boom.
Right.
Done.
Die Hard 3
Right.
is totally different though.
Well, sort of, except that instead of using the geography of a building, you're using the geography of Manhattan.
The city. Yeah.
Right.
No, it's
and
true.
so
It's not
he has to
totally
use
different.
his knowledge of like, oh, well, you go through Central Park and do all this stuff, and that's how he is able to win.
That movie's really good. That one's way
it's-
better than that movie's way better than Die Hard 2.
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
Because that John McTiernan didn't do Die Hard 2. So
Who?
he skipped out on it to do Hunt for Red October. So
Oh, really?
which is why that one
Nice.
feels different.
Good,
But
good
1
tie-in.
and 3 are of a piece together.
Gotcha.
Anyway.
Well, yeah, like Die
But
Hard
then the
2,
later ones, like Die Hard 4 and 5,
I didn't see those movies, man.
well, 4 is maybe okay, but not good, and 5 is complete horribleness. But the reason those movies fail is because they don't use geography. Like John McClane just becomes this. He loses his everyman quality. The older he gets, apparently he becomes like a superhero.
Yeah,
So he doesn't feel
which
like a
one
vulnerable.
is it? Somehow he lands on like an F-15 and catches.
That's
a
in the
jet
fourth
wing.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, how
it's
is
so
that?
st-
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
Okay,
And they're driving all over the country. You don't get a sense of like the confined space, right? So, yeah, that's why it fails.
gotcha. Yeah, tying it back to Christmas movies with Die Hard, whatever. Die Hard 2 is like Home Alone 2. It's like the same movie, just set in a different spot.
Yes,
Home Alone 2 is terrible. If you've ever seen it, I mean,
I've
it's
seen
fine.
it. I saw it once, and I think I fell asleep.
You didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's so stupid. And the fact that these parents lost their kids 2 years in a row, they need to be put in jail. But whatever. That's just
Yeah.
is what it is. Cool. Well, I don't know, Dan. Christmas movies. Yeah, no one ever thinks of the Gremlins. Gremlins is not a Christmas movie, but it is. It
Yeah.
literally takes place over like there's Christmas songs, there's Christmas lights. They all have like there's a scene with the Gremlins are all wearing Christmas hats. Did that
that's
come
a
out?
That's a solid point.
I bet that movie came out over Christmas. If it didn't, I'd be surprised. Spielberg, you sneaky bastard. Release date. Oh, I was wrong. June. It came out in June. 1984? Holy shit, really? Wow.
Die Hard came out in the summer,
Yeah,
so
that's okay.
It doesn't have to be released at Christmas.
No, it doesn't. In fact, it's almost cheesy that they are. Like, I do know
season, DreamWorks
Yeah.
Pictures cordially invites you. You know,
Yeah.
little like Nutcracker Suite music going in the background.
it's like- No, it's like the commercials in Scrooge for like IBC, like whatever, like nuclear war, acid rain, like starvation, like Charles Dickens' endearing story, the Christmas Carol, like I don't want people not to want to miss. They have to be so terrified not to miss it.
That's like those fake trailers at the beginning of Tropic Thunder.
Oh yeah, God, that movie's brilliant. Those are so funny. All right, well, funny. You don't like Christmas movies. I get it. Dan.
I don't dislike Christmas movies.
No,
I just don't.
You gotta get into it, man. It's a thing for whatever. It's a thing for me. I just like them, and like,
No, I dig it.
Luckily, Sally digs it. My kids like it, but like, actually, they joked about it tonight. They're like, "We're watching another Christmas movie." I was like, first of all, we got 4 more days of Christmas. We got cranking these movies out. If you guys don't like it,
What you need to do, you need to have like a pull down list on the wall.
I should.
And they were like,
Yeah.
Dad, why are we watching the Christmas? Like, okay, look, we're on day 3.
We're supposed
Okay.
to be here.
It's like,
Yeah,
when
you're
did you
here.
make that chart, sweetie? It's like, that's my chart. I gotta keep track.
Oh, someday
like
they'll
a-
appreciate it.
Or like a little
They're
advent
making-
calendar where you like open up the little thing. It tells you,
Yeah.
today we're
We have-
watching,
Oh, I should do
Love
that.
Actually or whatever.
Just Friends. That's like another Christmas holiday movie. What was that face for? You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know what that is. It sounds
Oh,
like
that movie's pretty funny, man. It's not really a Christmas movie, but there is some Christmas stuff. It's Ryan Reynolds, and like the whole premise of the movie is when he's in high school, he's super fat, and he's like in the friend zone with this one girl, and then once he grows older, he becomes like he's like Ryan Reynolds, like super attractive,
Yeah.
you know. But then like he's a dickhead as he gets older. Then he goes back to his hometown and he meets up with this girl again and tries to hook up with her, kind of hooks up with her, sort of doesn't. I forget what happens at the end. But he loses his fatness but becomes a dickhead. It's a very Swan story, but it's just funny.
Yeah.
And it's actually very hilarious. It's a funny movie. But I think it takes place over Christmas. I think he comes home for Christmas break. So that's why people call it a Christmas movie, which is
That makes sense.
again very
Classic setup.
tangentially Christmas. Yeah, he's home for Christmas. He's home for the holidays, and he meets this girl who's what's her name? Amy something. You would recognize her. Skinny blonde girl. Whatever. That narrowed it down. Skinny blonde girl in Hollywood named Amy. But
I don't
it's
know.
okay. Don't worry.
What was that movie where Ryan Gosling has to teach Steve Carell how to be like a ladies' man?
it called Ladies Man?
No, it
Oh,
was
it's not.
Crazy Stupid Love.
Oh, I don't even know what that is, man.
I don't know. It's weird, but it's one of those weird sort of like interwoven multiple storyline movies where like
Yeah,
Steve Carell,
Crazy
like,
Stupid Love, but I've never heard of this movie.
yeah, Steve Carell like breaks up with Julianne Moore, his wife or whatever, and so he meets Ryan Gosling, who's like this pickup artist type dude, who's like trying to teach him how to be all like smooth and stuff.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Steve Carell's daughter is secretly obsessed with Ryan Gosling, and then he's in love with somebody else, and then it all kind of gets awkward and twisted around by the end, and
Okay.
it's very uncomfortable, and you don't really like any of the characters. It's a type of movie that only exists because people make really stupid decisions. It's like
Did this movie come out around the time of Hitch?
probably it's like a rom-com version of a
Oh.
horror movie.
They didn't. It's like 6 years apart. But either way, sorry.
I don't think I ever saw all of Hitch.
Hitch is pretty funny. That's worthwhile. It's Will Smith
I
in
think
his
I've seen
element.
most of it.
It's Will Smith in his element. It's Kevin James in his element. What are you gonna do? It works out good.
Yeah.
They work good together. I was watching. What is it? I think hopefully it's a common mistake. Something about Anna Hendrick, who's the girl that sings like in a couple of Disney movies. Red hair, whatever. I don't know if you've seen this person.
Kendrick?
Is it Kendrick? Sorry,
I think it
could
might be
saying
Kendrick.
Yeah, you're probably right. Sorry. If
don't know.
that's yeah, it's Kendrick. But like whatever, like Nora and Sally watched this like B-rate sing along Christmas movie. I was like, oh yeah, it's that girl. I was like, I know who you're talking about. She's like, yeah, the girl that sings like the voice in Trolls. I was like, yep, I know who that is. I was like, also she's the really weird girl in what's that movie? I was actually trying to draw a blank when I was telling her. Wedding Crasher. She's like, no, that's not her, but it looks just like her. I was like, really? That's not the same person? That girl's name is like Isla Fisher or something like that.
Oh yeah,
Those
Isla.
people.
Yeah, she's
Isla. Okay. Yeah, sure. But like in my mind, that's the same person. But sorry, this is just.
I still don't know
conversation
who
I had.
Dermot Mulroney and Dylan McDermott are.
Dylan McDermott. I can picture. The other person I don't know. Dylan McDermott is like a more gritty looking.
He's the guy who was in the sidekick in The Line of Fire. That's the only reference I have of him. He was like
Wasn't
Clint
he in-
Eastwood's partner.
Wasn't he?
And
in,
then
like,
Dermot Mulroney was in I forget.
I don't remember. Dylan McDermott is like a more manly looking Ross from Friends. That's how I can picture him.
Mixed with like a little bit of Sylvester Stallone in his face. It's kind of that
Sure.
droopy face.
Yeah. But whatever. We are far away from Christmas movies, but it's okay. Felt good about it. Are you doing anything for Christmas? What are you doing for Christmas? Are you hanging out?
Well,
in
I
Durham,
already
or what
did
are
a
you doing?
bunch.
Yeah. Well, everybody's done a bunch, but like,
Well, I did Christmas with the kids on Sunday. Well, where they opened presents and stuff because Shayla was leaving town with her parents to go back to
Yep.
Indiana. So we had a big group thing and they opened their presents and stuff. And so it's actually kind of nice doing it early because now it's like it's out of the way. And it's like, oh, okay. Now I can basically relax for the whole rest of the week because now they're going to go to their mom's house tomorrow. And then we're going to go to the Outer Banks with my parents for their 50th anniversary, like all next week.
oh,
With
cool.
the kids and my sisters and stuff. So like actual Christmas is going to be pretty chill. And I'm like really looking forward to it.
That's awesome. What are you doing where are you going Outer Banks wise? Where are you going?
Oh, Kitty Hawk somewhere around in there.
Sweet, man. That'll be fun. That's
Yeah.
cool.
So, yeah. So it's going
One
to be
beach to the other. I love that. Like,
Yeah,
let's
pretty
get
much.
out of Carter County and go to Dare County.
basically.
That's okay. We do that a lot.
Well, I
It's
mean,
fun.
it's my sister comes down from Virginia Beach,
Oh, that makes
so
sense. Yeah.
and if you go to the beach in Carter County, it doesn't feel like you've gone anywhere, right? But like
No,
even
I
if you go
agree.
to another beach of the same ocean, it feels like you're
Oh
out of
no,
town.
yeah, no. I joke because it's so stupid. Like I don't go to the beach here. I mean, I go every now and again. But like I gotta work in the summertime, so I'll go on the weekends with the kids and Sally sometimes. But like that's like our trip. On like Labor Day, we go to Kitty Hawk or like a Nag's Head.
Yeah,
So it's just like, oh, this is the beach we like. Like, but it's actually not really because like the beach here is better as opposed to the beach. There's just different stuff to do. So it's cool.
yeah. No, it's a cool place to go in the winter, like in the off season, because
Yeah.
there's like not a lot of people around, but it's still reasonably warm.
Yeah. It's
So,
fun up there.
and there's it's basically there's also an aquarium. Not that we don't have an
Oh, yeah.
aquarium in Carteret County. It's just,
I've been there every year for the last like 12 years.
it's like,
So,
oh
yeah.
look, it's otters. It's the same. No, but you don't understand. It's the same
It's
otters.
not the same otter.
They look the same, but they're just in a different enclosure. So that makes it
Right. Yes.
yeah,
That's not Chipmunk. That's Gizmo. Chipmunk's over there. That's Gizmo.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah. No, I'm hanging out here. So I got family coming in. So that'll be fun.
And then I'm driving down to Burgaw, North Carolina on New Year's to play a show.
Oh, yeah. That's around Wilmington, right?
Yes, and it's the kind of town where when you Google Map, where are the hotels in town? There are none. Like it's literally just like an exit on 40. So I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
Burgaw. You guys are in Burgaw, so beware.
Yeah.
Well, good. Have fun with that. All right, then. Hey, we're at an hour. We did an hour.
There we go.
No more. All we got was spam calls. Damn.
My version of sleigh bells is ice clinking.
Pretty good, man. Yeah, I got a lot of booze planned. My brother-in-law's coming. My sister's coming. We got drinking ideas for the next couple days.
Are you making beer or what are you doing?
No, I don't. No, we didn't make any beer. I'm not gonna be able to brew till January, unfortunately. So I'm out of beer. We got some mixed drinks ideas. I restocked my beer fridge. I think my brother's bringing some kind of spiced German wine, and also I just have mixed drinks up the Wahoo to start making. So
Huh.
yeah,
See, that's the one. I want to say the one. I'm sure I can think of other things, but the one downside.
this is the one downside.
I'm like the only person in my family who enjoys drinking. So
Oh yeah,
I have to enjoy drinking with other people's families. So that's the one sort of cultural thing where it's like, oh, you're hanging out on Christmas, and then Grandpa has a couple, and then I was like, yeah, I don't relate. I don't relate to any of that. So I just wait till everybody else goes to bed.
well, it's not like the only thing we're doing, but
It's not we're not Irish or something.
it was the focal point in my day because like we're doing like the first night and we're having a cookout in like a fire pit and stuff. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be like 30 degrees on Thursday, so we're gonna have like a fire pit and stuff here. So I got like stuff for like a charcuterie board, some stuff on the grill, and I bought a bunch of drink stuff. So we're gonna like kind of have a little spread. Should be fun.
Yeah, that's living the dream, man.
Yeah, it's nice.
Who is Charcuterie's board's agent? Because they've done a great. Like 2 years ago, nobody was talking about charcuterie boards. Right
I
now,
don't know,
it's like
Dan. I've been into it.
okay, maybe not 2 years ago, maybe like 3 or 4
Also,
years.
I'm not really doing that. I'm just doing like fancy meats and cheeses. I'm not like going out and like decorating a big board and like,
having
you
to
know.
like fold the prosciutto in certain
Yeah,
little
no,
patterns. And
no.
like,
I'm gonna cut everything up and put it on a cutting board and be like, eat this or don't. I don't care. Here's some
it's
crackers.
a
in
classy
box.
lunchable. Okay.
Exactly. Yes. A very expensive, classy lunchable. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I mean, there's a whole art form to that, though. If you really wanted to, like the way you pair stuff and all that crap, that's way
Yeah.
beyond.
No,
my
there's
pay
this.
grade.
There's this restaurant out in Mooresville that we play at a few times a year, and they have like charcuterie boards out the wazoo. And
Cool.
I always sit there and think about it. I'm like, it's a pretty good idea because it's like all they do is they just take the stuff, they arrange it, and they bring it out, and it's $60 a pop. It's like,
Oh yeah.
how
Yeah,
would you
yeah.
like an entree that we don't cook or do anything to other than arrange it on a plate?
But I gave you 1.5 ounces of fancy mustard and honey and
Some sort
another
of like
sauce,
sweet
some kind of chutney
jam,
thing.
chutney,
Exactly.
and 8 olives. You will eat one.
Yeah. But if you don't put them together in the right order, you're a troglodyte. You damn Philistines.
Charcuterie boards are great when other people get them.
Yeah.
Like, because especially when we play at this venue, like they don't give us free food or anything. Well, they give us like snacks and stuff. So like, but the people who come to see us like are they're always eating stuff. So I can walk off the stage and walk up and be like, people all have some. So I'll like grab a couple of bites. But you can't do that if like you walk up to a table and people are eating burgers. Like, oh, can I just have a
Oh, is that a double steak burger? Can I have a bite of that?
I just walk up and like cut a piece of their ribeye. Just like,
Ooh, some Machango cheese. I like that. It's good.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Take a
Yeah.
big spoon of mashed potatoes.
Just use your hand. You liked how I played that song? It was good. Wait,
Yeah.
where do you go? You play places that have food like that? Like they serve charcuterie boards?
This one place is very small. I don't know.
Okay.
Just-
Like you can
At
you
the
step
first-
down and people are eating.
The first time
Possibly.
we played there, I was like, "Are we doing this for real?" And we keep getting booked back there. Like, it's not a great gig. We don't make we made okay money last time. It wasn't
But how
great,
much do you make in salami? That's what I want to know.
It's a weird. It's kind of
Cured
a
meats.
real pain. It's honestly it's the kind of gig that we just do for like the wives and girlfriends because they have fun because they
Okay.
sit there at this table and then they chomp on charcuterie boards and drink wine and stuff for like 4
It's
hours.
a loss leader. You got to do it. Yeah, that's
So,
cool.
but like the stage is not very big. We always have to get creative on like how to fit everybody on the stage. It's actually a really well designed. It's for a restaurant that has a live band. Like they did all this treatment to the ceiling and stuff, so it's not super loud. But it's a pain to carry your stuff in there. Like, but it's it's cute little downtown Mooresville. The little
Oh,
shops
nice.
and things
Yeah.
and stuff. So
Oh,
but,
that
yeah.
sounds like fun.
it'd be better if we were like a blues or jazz band. But yeah, whatever.
Well, you ever play that on a Saturday? You give me due notice, Dan. I'm coming to Mooresville. Make it a date night of it. Date weekend.
I think we're playing there in January. It might be a Friday though.
January is pretty booked for us, actually. Sorry. I need more time. Need more time.
Yeah.
Give me a spring date. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We should go. It's late.
All right.
Merry Christmas.
You filthy animal.
Yep. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
I'll use some bitches.
Yep.
Oh.
Here we go.